We are here. Oh, we are here, ladies and gentlemen. Shootout Mania. Shootout Mania. This is the title of the show. Oh, my. Oh, my. Shootout Mania, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening. Oh, we need to look into the camera today. It's going to be one of those days. It is going to be one of those days. The lights are out. The camera's down. Oh, God. Never mind. It's not. I'm just kidding. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are here today, and Shootout is going. Sean's off over there. He's glued to the couch. He's not sitting in the seat. We got a vacated seat today. We just watched Ricky Thornton Jr. put on a show. Into the D. Are they running C's tonight? No. Not running C's tonight. Ricky Thornton Jr., we got to put out, once again, Daddy's back. Shootout Mania. Daddy's back. And apparently it's not Chrisopher Bell. Chrisopher Bell's nowhere to be seen right now, Sean. Nowhere to be seen, as far as I'm concerned. The Chrisopher Bell that used to own the Expo Center, I don't know if he needs to go and have a kid or something, because it does seem like the daddies are kicking ass, right, Sean? I mean, daddies are winning. RTJ is a daddy. Kyle Busch is a daddy. Kyle Larson is a daddy. I don't know why their daughter is named Audrey after my mom's name. Thanks for doing that, but I'm just saying, Kyle Larson is the daddies are showing up. This is the Big Daddy Shootout. And it is the Big Daddy of them all, apparently. But the one person not showing up is Chris Bell. I mean, he's doing okay. He ain't doing nothing special, is he, Sean? No, he ain't doing nothing special. I mean, see, we need Sean over here. He wants to talk already. I know. But anyway, he's been glued to the couch all day. We watched that horrible football game where Notre Dame beat, who was it? Georgia. Georgia just didn't show up, but they didn't have their quarterback. Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about the bets that were made. Anyways, we're in depression. We're here live. And there are so many things that are happening at the shootout. We do have some topics we want to talk about. Good, or looks, I'm just checking into the chat. We'll see what the chat has to say. Hold on, we'll go over here and check the chat out real quick. RTJ doing his soup thing. He is doing his soup thing all of a sudden. I'm not sure why he chose to do the soup thing. We're going to be looking into the results tonight. This is going to be a shootout show. Honestly, there should be some bullets flying. Sean knows this. A few other people know this. I've been on the phone all day long, halfway, I guess. Talking about some topics about the sprint car racing world that is very disgusting and disturbing that some other shows and people are putting on right now. Joe's very upset about it. A bunch of people in the sport are very upset about it. It seems like we're condoning cheating, and we're just saying, okay, your premier drivers are just going to be premier drivers, and they get to cheat. No one else does. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen? But Broke Joe wants to say something about it. We're going to save that topic for the Broke Joe segment, which he hasn't texted back. He's not coming on today. We're trying to get Broke Joe on. I would assume it'll be tomorrow night or Saturday night. So stay tuned on the show. If you're not subscribed, subscribe now because you're going to be able to see Broke Joe probably lose his nutsack. I'm going to assume, right? Sean's going to be in his chair for that one when it happens. But stay tuned for that. It's going to be Friday or Saturday. We're going to be talking about the shootout, though. Here today, there is a bit. I mean, I wish I would have had the segments and the graphics up for the RTJ situation, but he is coming up through. His C-Main will be tomorrow. The big shows, though, as the scroller down at the bottom, the Venmo, PayPal supporters, we did get a new one. Chris Strangler has joined. Kennedy and Fisher want to thank you as well. And those, Keep the Chaz Trucking, those names, Pitchin The Hit, all these names, supporters on the show. There is a join button at the bottom next to the subscribe button. Think about joining that. But the PayPal Venmo stuff comes today. You know, if you didn't send a super chat or anything this last month or was a member this last month, we're not going to see this until mid-February. So maybe that'll be my Florida money. I'm not sure. But I'm just saying, directly you could support or join in the channel. Either way is good. Sean says it. Throw the rule book out the window. The rule book out the window. I'm telling you right now, I know a lot of people want to talk about this. And I want to talk about, I'm showing resilience, Kyle. I'm showing resilience, Kyle. Michael Rigsby, all you people, I'm showing resilience. Mr. Sweet, I'm showing resilience. Some other people, I'm showing some resilience. We're going to get onto your ass if you deserve it. And me and Broke Joe are going to have a hell of a show come Friday, Saturday. But tonight is shootout night. We are talking about the shootout and what comes with the shootout, ladies and gentlemen. Not just this wing and this empty seat over here where Sean's ass should be. No, I'm just playing. But the fights at the top of the ramp. The top of the ramp, Sean, is it not true? Top of the ramp, that's like a catchphrase. It's well known at the Tulsa Shootout, the top of the ramp. And there was a top of the ramp scenario, and we see a little bit of a post here that was posted by Lauren Kelly, who I believe is associated with the IRA series, which is a very up-and-coming, I believe it's becoming more popular than it used to be, sprint car series in Wisconsin, and they're branching out a little bit this year. But Colton Hardy apparently is the one pictured here in school clothes, and it says, Colton Hardy knew old boy wasn't gonna swing. God, I love Tulsa. I don't know if God loves Tulsa, but okay, sure. You see the point here is that he had his hands in his pockets as this disgruntled Greg Biffle fan approached him, as that's the Greg Biffle 16. So top of the ramp's going to be interesting. I haven't seen anything really happen. Have you, Sean, outside of this? But it is just the beginning of the week. It's just heat races so far. It's C mains and D mains. We get into these qualifiers tomorrow, which is going to be what we're talking about, the main hitting points in this discussion. We get into these qualifiers tomorrow. The top of the ramp is going to be very interesting. And Joe's Racing Products is sponsoring the ramp. So Joe's Racing Products got to do a tour around Joe's Racing Products. If you haven't checked it out on the channel, it is here. And they actually gave me a GoPro mount. I think personally the best GoPro mounts in the business. Sorry to anyone else who makes them. But regardless, this happened at the Tulsa Shootout. And then, as most of you know, this has happened. Oh, my God. Results, ladies and gentlemen. Results. As the Big Daddies are in town. The Big Daddies are in town. Shootout heat race results. Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson, the Big Daddies of them all, looking very, very good in their shootout situation. What we got here is the heat race results from the Outlaw Wing. These are Outlaw Wings, and the results, we're only going to pay attention to the Outlaw Wing and the non-wing Outlaw. But in the lineups that we have coming to show you, we're going to be showing you the races to matter, and those are the big four. The big four: Outlaw Wing, non-wing Outlaw, stock wing, and non-wing stock. A-class, as some people call it. Although they call it A-class and stock, I don't understand. The announcers for the show, they still call Twitter when X is what it is. They're talking about people sending tweets. And there's no such thing as a tweet anymore, okay? There's an X. You post on X, or you posted on X, or you X'd somebody, I don't know. But it's not a Twitter. It's not a tweet. These things don't exist anymore. I don't understand why people talk like this. But regardless, they understand they're the best. Kyle Larson goes from 10th to 3rd in his heat race. I was very surprised by this because he just got off of his jet lag situation. But it is Kyle Larson. It is a CB Industries machine. Apparently, ladies and gentlemen, we hear all these things about, oh, midgets costing $300,000 a year to rent, blah, 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 and all this crap. Apparently, according to some sources, very reliable sources, very reliable, they're doing the same thing in the micro industry. It's just at the 90K department. Is that about right, Sean? Around the 90K a year to run one of these properly prepared micros. That is the roundabout number, $90,000. And I'm not saying that's a CB Industries machine that you could be renting, but it's probably right around that department of quality of car. Of course, that's why you would throw Kyle Larson or throw a guy in there who is a hitter to show what your cars can do and how good they are, and then somebody might pay that amount of money to be in a CB car. Not saying that's their amount that they're asking for. Just saying, and it also helps when you're in the pitting area. If you pay $90,000, you get to say hello to Kyle. You're in the same pitting area as Kyle Larson. That's worth $20,000 in itself, probably. So you're paying $90,000 for a meet and greet with Kyle Larson half the year. I mean, that's basically what you're paying for, and these people will pay it. If you go to lunch with them, holy shit, you might want to fucking tack on to that 90. That's what I'm saying. Is there, when they're selling this package for some of the drivers that may pay this, is there like a perk? Well, it's $90,000 to rent the micro, but if you pay an additional $20,000, we'll make sure you have a meet and greet with Kyle 3 times out of the year. You'll get to go and maybe fish with Owen Larson, because apparently Owen Larson's a big fisherman. You'll get to potentially have a group photo with you and your family and your closest sponsor that paid this obscene amount of money to be in a micro that doesn't really matter in most people's opinions. I mean, what in the hell are we doing here? I'm just saying, ladies, is that a part of the package? Do you check boxes? Like when you're ordering a meal on Uber Eats, is it you get the combo meal, which is the 90,000 for the micro, and is there additional features where you could check? I get a special media package. Check. Oh, okay, that's an extra 20,000. Oh, I get the meet and greet Kyle. Another check. Christopher Bell's gonna come and say hello to you. That's an extra $25 because he ain't doing shit at the Tulsa Shootout. It ain't worth a damn at this point. I'm just saying, what the fuck is going on with 90,000? I just said the F word. Oh, you little kid, he's crying, choking on you. Your damn popsicle as your daddies and mommies are paying $90,000 to put you in a fucking micro. Are you kidding me? Oh, my God. Anyway, I just can't believe I went off on that. But I'm going to. That's fine. Anyway, race number 7. Here we go. I think they just said Chaz is talking about Uber on the Tulsa Shootout broadcast. This is interesting. We're talking about them. Did they just say Uber? I swear they did. But anyway, race number 7, Kyle Busch, the other daddy in town, because Chris Bell is not in town just yet, apparently. As far as finishing, he goes from 4th to 1st in his Winged Outlaw. Very impressive here by Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch looking very strong. I said that when we watched the midget racing, and his hot laps, and then how he looked at Bakersfield. I was very impressed. I thought he underperformed at Ventura, but Kyle Busch has got some skill. This is the best asphalt race car driver in modern history. So he should do good. This guy is looking good. He's going to do good. We'll see if he competes for the win. Me personally, I think the Tulsa Shootout, even though this bitched about micros, is potentially one of the most competitive races in the country. I think it's harder to win the Tulsa Shootout, especially Winged Outlaw. Well, I would probably say non-winged A-class is probably the hardest based on competitors. But the Winged Outlaw is considered the 410 sprint car of this event. And I think with the amount of competitors and people you got to beat, and even though if you may pay $90,000 for a damn midget ride for the year, that midget ride that micro ride, that you're in, you're not going to have a huge advantage over everybody else like a Keith Coons midget will over a regular guy. Like there's a big gap between like a Keith Coons CB Industry midget and the rest of the field versus a CB Industries micro or this micro or that, whatever team, whatever prestige you may have, and a regular guy's micro. There's only so much you could put into a micro, so there's more people within that competitive wheelhouse of affordability and being able to compete for the win. And that's one of the main reasons that I do believe that the Tulsa Shootout is a little more competitive and a little bit more difficult to win because there's so many cars in the building that have a legitimate shot with the driver, with the properly funded equipment to be able to win the event. Whereas the Chili Bowl, there's going to be maybe 25 driver car combos. When I say that, drivers with enough talent and with enough race car to be able to compete for the Chili Bowl Midget Nationals. There's only about 25. Really, you can narrow it down to about 10 when you get into the elite divisions of it. In the shootout, though, I feel like there's probably 40 or 50 in all of the top 4 elite classes. I would say maybe there's more in the non-wing stock. But there's a huge amount of drivers who have an opportunity to potentially win this event. So you win the Tulsa Shootout, in my opinion, you basically, in my opinion, let me underline that, you achieved a more difficult task than winning the Chili Bowl. That's my opinion, personally. So, anyways, back to the results. Kyle Busch looking strong, looking good. We'll see what he can do here. Obviously, Winged Outlaw car's going to matter a little bit more than anywhere else. It is the Outlaw division, but I still think most people are in the wheelhouse. We do have some more heat race results from the Winged Outlaw. Chrisopher Bell here started 7th, finished 4th. Once again, not really what I thought we would see from somebody who used to dominate this race and this event and just own the Expo Center. I expected more. Got to give a shout out to Chris Carroll in this, though. He's always dominant at the Tulsa Shootout. Keep an eye out for him. Claremore, Oklahoma's Chris Carroll. He started 10th in this race. Drove by Chrisopher Bell's no daddy having ass to a 2nd place finish. He just couldn't keep up with them. Couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle Chris Carroll. And I did hear the shout out for the Dragonfly cars. I'm used to seeing him in one. I think that's the guy who's in those. And no Dragonfly to be seen. But regardless. On to the next damn heat race result that caught my mind. Of course, Ricky Thornton Jr., this was his Winged Outlaw result. We're watching him go through the Winged A class. This is it that he's driving through, right, Sean? What he's been driving through is Winged A class, because the Winged Outlaw, he's in the Bernie Indy Race parts car, I do believe. So a subpar finish here. Started 7th, finished 5th. But these are very tough. These Winged Outlaws, if you don't know what you're doing micro-wise, you really got to be able to show up and show out to be able to compete at the front of the fields. So Ricky Thornton Jr., unfortunately, starting 7th, finished 5th. We're going to be looking into the lineups here for all these divisions, so we'll see how that played out if he gets into one of these qualifiers. Ricky Thornton Jr., though, in the let's see here. Hold on. We're getting mixed up. Non-winged outlaw. That was non-winged outlaw. Ricky Thornton Jr. started first, finished first. I do think that drivers like a Ricky Thornton Jr., some of these more non-sprint car, non-micro drivers are going to have a way better chance at running well in non-wing cars. When you put a wing on things, it just changes how you drive the car slightly. I don't think it's as extreme as a 410 sprint car when you put a wing on it, but it does make a difference. And I think that right rear kind of driving style, driving the car, not a car with a wing, does attune to the Ricky Thornton Jr.'s. And like I said, guys who are not full-time winged sprint car or full-time winged micro racers. So wasn't a big surprise here to see Ricky Thornton Jr. start first and finish first. No more non-wing outlaw results in the picture here. Emerson Axum started 3rd, finished first. This guy, even though you're just hearing about him in the 410 and wing sprint car ranks, I remember going to the Tulsa Shootout, seeing what Emerson Axum was doing in that building and saying, this is a guy right here. I do think that micros can really show, especially at the shootout, what you could potentially do, what's your skill set, how elite you actually are, because I believe that it has so much competition and ability in the building in equal prepared or equally funded or close to equally funded race cars that you can really judge how good a driver actually is based on their shootout performance. I think even more so than a Chili Bowl performance, because you can have such an advantage with a race car at the Chili Bowl. If you can do something in the building at the shootout, I think you're in that elite category of racing talent in America, especially when it comes to open wheel racing. Emerson Axum, you're just now hearing about him. We've been talking about him for a long damn time. So he's whooping some ass. Started 3rd, finished 1st in the non-wing outlaw. Race 56, Christopher Bell started 5th, finished 2nd. Not a bad run here. How about a good run for Kaylee Bryson? There were some hitters in this heat race. This was race 56. Kaylee Bryson from 10th to 3rd. Got to give credit where credit's due. I remember noticing her when she was in the building, which is why I pumped her up so long. And then when she wet the bed in full-size sprint cars and I said something about it, it hurt me because it hurt my feelings. I thought she was going to be something special like Emerson Axum, and they just stay in the non-wing stuff and stay, in my opinion, dodging competition, because when you get into the big car stuff, non-wing just doesn't have competition or real big payouts, or we can't really see how good you are. And I think that if she would go in the sprint cars more, that would help a lot. But, I mean, her shootout success is why I thought she had so much of an upside. She potentially still does. Maybe the situation I saw her were regular weekly guys and their daddy and their Ford F-150s was whooping her ass. Maybe that was just an anomaly, but let's see more of it. Please get the hell out of midgets and non-wing sprint cars and go race against the big boys of the open-wheel racing world, and that is in winged sprint cars, whether that's 360s or 410s. Get the hell out of non-wing racing land, because it is only going under. Anyways, back to the results here. Joby Miller from 6th to 4th, always a contender under the building there at the Expo Center. More results here. Kyle Busch, another W, 2 heat race wins, started first, finished first in this one. Really looking dominant right now for Kyle Busch at the Tulsa Shootout, but these are just heat races. We're going to get into the races that matter here in just a second. Another one, Christopher Bell started 9th, finished 4th, looking fine there. That's going to be good. That's going to work out well for him. And then also race 100. They had a ton of cars here as we work into. Hold on, let me see which one we're into right here. Oh, it just cranked over. Once you go to 100s, I mean, there's so many dang races you're trying to keep attention to it. In fact, that Bell result, I believe, was Wing A class, if I remember correctly. Regardless, this is Winged A class. Kyle Busch not having as much of success as he did in the non-wing outlaw and the winged outlaw. Started 3rd, fell back to 5th. So it's interesting. You put that stock motor in there, and the stock motor is more affordable. This is why I say non-wing stock could potentially be the most competitive class because you take the wings off. Everybody's on a similar power package. And when you get that similar power package under the hood, I think things get a little more even, and you're going to have to really drive and do something special to win and accomplish taking home the driller in one of these stock classes. I particularly favor the non-wing stock class. And you see it here. Kyle Busch starting third and finishing fifth. More winged A-class. We saw the battle between Frank Flood and Kyle Larson. It did look like Larson was going to get him. He started seventh. Larson finished second. But Frank Flood started one, finished one. This is kind of like the Oklahoma golden child as far as micro racing is concerned. But it did look like Kyle Larson had the upper hand on Frank Flood. It's Kyle Larson. What do you expect? Frank Flood, not going to say he's over his successful eras of life. I don't think that's the case. I think age is nothing but a number when it comes to racing. We'll have to see, though. Could be the car. Could have to figure this out. He was rolling the bottom trying to figure out what to do. Said he saw Larson in his background off the TV that they can still see, apparently, according to Frank Flood. So, I mean, Frank Flood is, really, really good. But I'm sure if you see Kyle Larson behind you, you may make mistakes or may overdrive or may not hit your perfect laps, whereas you're just 100% focused on driving instead of focused on Kyle Larson on your ass. That's got to be definitely distracting. We saw Ricky Thornton Jr. have a very bad go of it in the winged A-class. That is why he's in the back here in the E's and the D's and has now moved on into the C main event tomorrow. DNF in his heat race. He was battling, though, with Seth Stenzel, and this is a local guy there in Oklahoma who is very, very good. Keep an eye out to see how he progresses. That 99K car looks like he's had a good run here in the winged A-class. Pretty much, that's pretty much what I wanted to cover here. I wanted to get into the schedule for tomorrow because I believe that this is the day of the most importance. This is the day that everything is going to matter. This is the biggest day at the Tulsa Shootout. It is tomorrow. It is qualifier day. And if you're going to watch any part, I mean, you could almost skip heat races, honestly. If you're going to watch any part about the shootout that actually is going to determine who's going to win this shootout, put yourself in the proper position. There's only so many guys who could drive through these fields. These fields are extremely stacked when it comes to the A mains of these shootouts, the top four. Once again, the winged outlaw, non-winged outlaw, stock wing, and non-wing. And if you aren't positioned well in the lineup, you're behind the eight ball by a lot. It's possible to come from the back, but it's very difficult to obtain. And tomorrow's qualifiers are basically going to set up what we will see in the main events on Saturday. So this is going to set up really everything. And these qualifying races are huge. The first ones that are going to be off the block is going to be the outlaw non-wing. That's going to be a little earlier in the day. And then you're also going to be going throughout the rest of the morning schedule and afternoon schedule, and then you'll end the whole entire night tomorrow with qualifying races. Sorry about that. Outlaw non-wing is what starts the day for their qualifying races, and then at the end of the day, you'll see the stock non-wing restricted A-class, which I'm not covering that, unfortunately. Outlaw winged and A-class wing to end the day. This will be the races you want to see. So if you do miss the outlaw non-wing, I think they're going to be really good, but they'll be a little bit earlier in the day. Tomorrow night, these are the races, especially the outlaw winged, which is considered the 410 of this is considered the Big Daddy division of this entire Tulsa Shootout. This is what you're going to want to pay attention to because it matters. I mean, we get over here onto the lineups on how this Tulsa Shootout deal actually gets done up, and it's read here pretty easily here on the sportsrush.com. I'm not sure why they're covering it, maybe because the Bushes are in the building. But it says the passing points chart is a crucial element in deciding who progresses. By the order of finish, drivers earn 100 points for first. This is how they get the points from the heat racing event. 100 points for first, 93 points for second, 86 points for third, and so on. And a 7-point drop for each spot lost. To this, the passing points are added. Drivers gain 5 points per every position they've added and lose 1.5 for every position they lost. Really good passing point system here. Things kick off with a series of heat races, which we just went through, in each major division. At the end of these races, the 112 drivers with the highest passing points will progress to the qualifiers. The 112 drivers are split into groups of 14. So these will be 14-car qualifiers tomorrow, creating a total of 8 qualifiers with a 4-car inversion. So the person starting fourth is the number in all of these is the highest point getter in these events. And the guy starting first is fourth, and then everyone else is behind him. But you're able to make up, and the passing points and everything is made up in these qualifiers. So these qualifiers are very important, and they're going to matter a lot. And obviously, we just talked about it. Outlaw Non-Wing going to be starting the day. So there are some races that I have here lined up that I think are going to be very important and matter as far as who is going to, or what to watch for or what to pay attention to, because these are going to be very important qualifying races to determine if you're going to have a shot at winning this Tulsa Shootout. Now, we're not going to go through every qualifier lineup, but we're going to go through some of them that I believe personally are very notable. So you see this one. This is qualifier number 1. That'll be race 283. So if you're keeping up with the race numbers, this is going to be very important on trying to keep up with everything that is going. This is qualifier number 1. It looks like Cannon Posey, got to give a shout-out, is the number 1 point getter of all. Now, there's probably potentially some ties here, but Cannon Posey is the number 1 non-wing outlaw point getter from heat racing events. Now, you see up there, obviously, starting third there isn't second overall. It's, I think, however many qualifiers they got, 8. So that would be Clinton Boyles is 9th overall in points after heat racing, if that makes sense, because there's 8. So there's going to be 8 people who are the top 8 in points from heat racing action, starting in 4th in all the 8 qualifiers, then into the 9th, 10th, and 11th, starting in 3rd, so on and so forth. So, anyways, very notable ones here in this first first qualifier. You look right back here. Obviously, you got all this speed up front, but back here in the 4th row, Kyle Larson and Gavin Miller. Gavin Miller, obviously, going to be very hard to beat in the building. He's strong, but Kyle Larson, right out of the get-go, non-wing outlaw, starting 7th. We'll see if he can make his way through the field, because these are the best of the best from heat racing action. You go a few rows back, and then you got Kyle Busch on the outside of the 6th row, starting 12th. So Larson out of 6th, Busch out of 12th, right to start the day in qualifying action. Race 283 tomorrow. It's going to be something you want to pay attention to. This is going to be one that you have 2 of the big daddies in town. So it'll be interesting. This is going to set up that A main lineup, and that's what everybody's trying to get into. I believe, don't quote me on this because I haven't, let's see, hold on. Let me see if I can read into this. Yes, the 16 drivers who score the most points most combined points, position and passing, will get the seats for the A main. So out of these qualifiers tomorrow, I just wanted to confirm with the story that was wrote here, the 16 top point getters out of the heat races and qualifiers here that we're going over combined, the top 16 are locked into the main event. So that's what everybody's aiming for in these qualifiers, and it's very important for a guy like Busch, for a guy like Kyle, to get up in there, because right now the guys starting 4th and 3rd of these 8 qualifiers, that's 16 guys. So there's 16 guys. There's technically, what is that? 8 times 4. There's 32 guys right now with more points than everyone else, and there's another 8 and 8, so 16 more on top of that. There's a lot of guys in front of Kyle and Larson and Busch that are higher in points. So a position like this, you got a real good chance if you're Kyle Busch, if you can make up a lot of ground and finish up front. If you're Kyle Larson, you can come from 7th. You can beat some guys. Some of these other guys get caught up in a wreck, or Gavin Miller and all these guys from the back that are really good, maybe didn't have the best heat race, come up in there and pass these guys. It's gonna be very interesting to see how the points do go out. So that is qualifier number 1 of the entire weekend in the non-wing outlaw. So we go into the next one that is notable that I saw here, which is qualifier number 2 on the board. There's a lot of guys in this one. There's a lot of people up front. Cameron Key, always stronger to the building in the micro division. Wrong button. Then you look throughout the field. You see some other drivers in here that you might want to pay attention to. Brody Wake, Brock Breather, Barrett. A lot of fast guys in this qualifier. This is qualifier number 2, 284. We're going to keep going here. There's some notables. One being Anton Hernandez. This is race 287, qualifier 5. So we just skipped 3 and 4. We're looking at qualifier 5 now for the non-wing outlaw. Sheldon Creed, of course, from the NASCAR ranks. Anton Hernandez from the USAC ranks, who has raced fairly consistent in the micro division and has a lot of success in the micro division prior to his USAC potential career. Actually, it's very funny. Sheldon Creed and Anton Hernandez were teammates in the last Lightning Sprint event at the Tulsa Shootout, and I believe Anton Hernandez beat or won that driller, I believe. But Sheldon Creed was a teammate. We all had a discussion there. It's like, yeah, Sheldon, you have all these connections. You're going to go to NASCAR, and Anton's just going to be a USAC guy somewhere somehow. He ain't got the money. Look what's happened, even though Anton was better than him in the same race car. It's not about performance. It's about pedaling in a way. Then right behind him, obviously, Tyler Courtney is in the 14N machine in this qualifier. This is qualifier number 5, race 287. Steven Snyder right there. You can never count Steven Snyder out. A lot of success in the 305 division. Christopher Bell in this qualifier as well. See, this thing is stacked. These qualifiers are crazy, guys. I'm telling you. And then even Danny Bukafuska, which this is the Holly Lee Master machine. This is the Holly Lee Master Micro. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about this, but this is this. I can't believe this has happened, guys. But there is a OnlyFans model that has sponsored Danny, and this is for all you perverts out there. This is the car that you want to be cheering for, because this is the car that sponsored Danny. He does have posters at the Tulsa Shootout, as he posted here on his racing page. And this is Holly LeMaster, the sponsor of the 3 of Danny Bukafuska, who is a big block guy. I don't know why they're not giving any props. They keep talking about big blocks. You got big block drivers there. Be proud for what you have. I mean, but Holly LeMaster, the OnlyFans model, as you can see, there's pictures of her on the car with the car as they debuted the paint scheme, and you see links on the car. There is a giant QR code on the car as well to go to her link tree. We all know what the link trees are. We see when we're swiping right in these dating apps and we look at the profile link tree, it's like, oh, God, I'm walking away. We know what she's all about. But we also know what she's all about here as well. Holly LeMaster, and I mean, some of these angles are just illegal, guys. This shouldn't be fair to be. Why is this allowed at the Tulsa Shootout? Brexton Bush doesn't need to grow up this fast. Are you kidding me? What is going on here? What in the hell is this all about, guys? And the way to notice this Bukafuska is the top up there, not that top, the one that she's got, but the top up there is holographic. So when the car's going around, it kind of looks like a weird, kinky Mario Kart scene, which is kind of what this is too. Who is shooting the shells out and blowing up the next car here? Anyways, back to things that matter. That does not matter. Anyway, that car is behind Christopher Bell tomorrow. So if y'all are interested in supporting this situation, go for it, guys. Go for it, guys. That's the situation at hand. But Danny Bukafuska going to be behind Christopher Bell. That is in qualifier number 5. Just looking at the back, Jake Andriotti in this one. So loaded qualifier here in qualifier number 5. Jake Andriotti, OnlyFans, Christopher Bell, Pornhub, Anton Hernandez, and we'll say Sheldon Creed is like 4chan or something. That's what we'll say. That's what that is qualifier number 5, race 287. Qualifier number 7 here has some notables. I do believe, hold on, let's see here. We got some top point getters, but I figured I pointed this one out for more than this, that. Oh, yeah, that's right, Ricky fucking Thornton. Apparently the new nickname for him is Slick Rick. He's going to be coming out of this 11th spot here in qualifier number 7, race 289. This will more than likely be during the day tomorrow. But Ricky Thornton Jr. coming out of the 11th spot in this event. Austin Saunders is in here, a couple other guys, but don't sleep on any of these guys. They're here in front of Ricky Thornton Jr. because they're that damn good. That's why this Tulsa Shootout is so hard to keep up with and obtain, success. It's just that damn true. Let's see here. Oh no, what did Colton Phillips? Did you just super chat me because we showed OnlyFans model on the show? This is kind of creepy. Okay, we'll go to the what's the schedule? Sorry, I'm losing my sense of reality after watching that. So stock non-wing, they'll have a bunch of things in between the outlaw non-wing qualifiers. They'll have, it looks like, C mains for restricted junior sprints. And then they'll have the qualifying races to end the day. That'll be starting at race 307. The last outlaw non-wing qualifying race is 290. 307, it starts up with stock non-wing. To me, this is the most competitive. It's not the most luxurious division, but it is the most competitive division at the Tulsa Shootout, in my opinion. I feel like if you win stock non-wing, you won the most difficult division to actually win in. So just putting up some stock or some races that I think matter. Hold on, I don't want to close the wrong one. Yeah, we're closing that one out. Bam. Bringing you up the notable ones for the stock non-wing. Oh, it did it on its own. Good. I've never used this photos, but we're trying it. Because you can only look up these lineups on My Race Passes app. You can't look them up on the website, which I don't know why they want a data track or what the purpose is behind that, but it's kind of weird. So race 307, qualifier number 1, Jake Andreotti in this one, Emerson Axum in this one. Isaiah Garcia is in this one. We're rolling down the rows here, just showing off some other guys. Ricky Thornton Jr., once again, another guy that you're going to continue with in this first non-wing stock. And this is the qualifier, but this is also the division that Ricky Thornton Jr. came from the back, took the lead, and blew up. Wasn't it non-wing stock, Sean, that Ricky Thornton Jr. was going to win last year and blew up? So he's looking for redemption here, but he's coming from the back in the qualifier. It's going to be very hard, especially with all this competition in front of him. But pay attention to that. That's going to be the first non-wing outlaw or non-wing stock qualifier of the evening, and this is going to kick off qualifiers for the rest of the night to conclude the event on Friday before we get into Saturday. Saturday is kind of a half-day pay-attention event, almost kind of like the Chili Bowl. Regardless, this is the first one. The other highlighted one is the second one here. How about Quentin Benson? Quentin Benson running strong. Cannon McIntosh going to be inside the second row here. Tyler Courtney outside the fourth row. Kyle Busch inside of the fifth row here in this qualifier. This is qualifier number 2, race 308. You go back here, and once again, none of these guys, don't sleep on any of them. Sheldon Creed in this one. KJ Snow going to be a competitor in this second qualifier. Ryan Mueller. So it's Chase Picola. There's just so many guys with the shot. This is why this non-wing out or stock is so competitive. But Busch, Courtney, Mueller, Benson, McIntosh, all in qualifier number 2. Qualifier number 3, you thought it got easier. It doesn't. You got Joe B. Miller on the damn front row. You got Dason Persley second row inside. Brent Cruz into the field here on this one. Tanner Holmes, that everyone thought was Tanner Holmes till they realized that Tanner Holmes is racing in Reno. Trey Markham, Cameron Key, Kevin Thomas Jr. This is qualifier number 3, race 309 in your stock non-wing. Then Anton Hernandez, stock non-wing qualifier 4, outside of the front row. Steven Snyder inside of the second. Clinton Boyles. And then there is, once again, with the wing off, not the top off, you perverts in the comment section, with the wing off, the OnlyFans Bukafuska looking situation. Although I feel like when you see her pictures, I think of a Bukafuska, if there ever was one. I don't know what a Bukafuska is, but it looked like she had a Bukafuska. I'm just saying, whatever that could actually mean, I'm not sure. We got to change the channel here before we get just taken off of of YouTube. I guess YouTube is kind of like the OnlyFans for guys. We just get on here and, I can't even say anymore. Anyways, qualifier number 5, race 311, Christopher Bell. This is his best shot of all of them so far that we've looked at. Race 311, Levi Kuntz, which is from Iowa. Nobody knew. I believe this Levi Kuntz is from Iowa. Nobody knew who he was around here. That's pretty sad. I'm just kidding. Austin Saunders in this one. Chris Carroll, once again, keep an eye out for Chris Carroll. He's always fast in the building. Landon Henry, Chance Hall. And a list of guys in here that are reputable. But up here up front, Christopher Bell on the pole, it's going to be hard to get him off the pole, although he does need passing points. I mean, finishing position is good. He can't lose a spot. Obviously, you lose 1.5 points if you lose a spot. You do gain 1 point for passing, but starting on the pole, you got to finish there. You can't finish second or it's detrimental. Race number 7 in stock non-wing. Not that strong in the first 2 rows, but they are strong. Once again, can't sleep on these guys. But right there inside the 3rd row, race 313. Hey, Eminem, fuck free world, 313. We could tell he's Illuminati every day, every day. Kyle Larson is in the inside of the 3rd row in this F Free World 313 qualifier number 7. Kyle Larson is starting there. Is anybody going to come and get him? Derek Hagar, maybe? Did he bring his own shocks? Oh, God. They just gave Kyle the easiest damn qualifier in the world. They're cheating for him, Sean. They're cheating for him. He ain't even got to go across the damn scales to get cheated for here. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, guys. That's the last. It's not the last qualifier. There's 8, but those are the ones I detailed for you. What we got here? What are y'all saying in the chat section? Oh, my God. We're sending more. Carson Macedo is elite. Oh, my. Oh, my. How does Creed fit into a micro? Has he been on the Ozempic diet? That is so mean to be saying. So mean to be saying. How could you guys? How could you guys say that about the poor old NASCAR guy who ain't that good? Why? Why? So Outlaw Winged is going to be the next one on tap. Outlaw Winged. This one's got the most screenshots of all. We're not going to show Outlaw Wing. We're going to show Wing Stock first because Wing Stock, I do feel like the Winged Outlaw is still kind of your World of Outlaw 410 sprint car event of the show. So even though these are going to be your later races, these are not the Winged Outlaw, which will come after the Outlaw non-wing that we just detailed, I believe. Yes, I believe. Did we? Going really fast here. We did Outlaw non-wing, believe. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Top 2. Oh, these are B-mates. Oh, I'm looking at the screen wrong. Never mind. I got their list of schedule of events here is just insane. There's let me see the total amount of by the end of the weekend, ladies and gentlemen, there will be 389 races completed. So I'm trying to keep up here. Anyways, the next one will be Outlaw Wing in your schedules. After stock non-wing will be restricted A class, then Outlaw non-wing qualifiers, then A class wing to end the night. They put the wing classes back to back. Probably put the Outlaw Wing earlier because it could be a late night tomorrow. There's a lot of racing that matters, and people are going to be banging fenders back and forth. Or I don't know if fenders is the right word, but regardless. So this is your first hold on. No, this is the first winged A-class that I wanted to note. Kyle Larson is going to be starting inside of the 2nd row, race number 333. What an Illuminati son of a bitch. Unbelievable. Sean is pumping his fists in the living room. I have no understanding as to why. Anyway, Kyle Larson, no competitors here. He should blow everybody's doors off. Who the hell is Brandon Charlemagne? I thought Charlemagne was a talk show guy that was black. Is the guy black? That'd be cool. Brenham Crouch starting at the back. They put Kyle Larson in the same qualifier as Brenham Crouch. Just basically giving him the fucking race. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's see here. Qualifier number 4, race 334. You got Dason Pursley, Clinton Boyles on there. That's your, once again, 3rd and 4th are your 1st and 2nd fastest guys within the qualifier with the highest points at least. You do got Brent Cruz coming to get him. He's going to be coming out of the 7th spot. And that there's some other competitors in here, but as far as names, I'm recognizing. We may recognize some more by the end of the weekend. Boyles and Pursley there in qualifier number 4. Qualifier number 5, Emerson Axon coming out of the 4th slot. He's one of the top point men. Wyatt Miller on the front row pole of this one. That is, I believe, was it Dylan Hart Jr.'s niece or something? Is it a girl or a boy? This Wyatt Miller, is it a boy or a girl? Hold on, I don't want to misidentify. Is he transgender? Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Is he? I don't know. Can we say he, she anymore? Can I say that he's a she or a he or a boy or a girl, or is it like one of their school teachers going to come and sue me or something? You're sure Wyatt Miller is a boy? Confirmed. Can we say this on camera? Can we say that Wyatt Miller is a boy? I just don't know who it is. Is it Earnhardt's niece, or is niece a offensive term, or what? Because niece means girl, nephew means boy. That's offensive. I can't even continue what I'm saying right now. Well, what is he, guys? Is he a they? What is it, a niece or something? What is it, a nephew? Is it Earnhardt Jr.'s nephew? Okay. Confirmed it is a he. And we can say it. I hope we're not offending the Earnhardt family right now. We may be in trouble, Sean, if we misidentify. I'm just saying. They're in North Carolina. They're in NASCAR land. They're progressive. They're gonna come after us. They're gonna come after us, Sean. We misidentified Wyatt Miller. That's big time offensive in NASCAR land. I mean, hell, I need to be wearing Carhartt right now to protect myself. Fuck. Derek Hagar's in there. Frank Flood coming from the back of this one. This is race 335. Wyatt Miller on the pole. That's about it. I think Sheldon Creed's not going to be a threat. Maybe Hagar. We know Frank Flood's going to be fast. Emerson Axum probably going to win this. That'll actually be a good show to see if Emerson Axum can take day down. Qualifier number 6. Let's see here. We dig a little deeper. Oh, Steven Snyder in here. I guess I was being fair here. I'm not really seeing too many guys. Probably the guy who wins the fucking race will be in this. And it's like, oh, you didn't know? Who's the guy? Oh, you see Ryder LaPlante, Chase Crowder. Ryder LaPlante's good, though. I want to say Casey Schumann, but it's Ballman. Interesting. So this will be qualifier number 6. Once again, another race that matters. Qualifier number 8. This will be the final qualifier in winged A-class. Christopher Bell going to be coming out of the 6th spot on the field. Seth Stenzel in this one. This is the guy who was out dueling Ricky Thornton Jr. in his heat race. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. Jace Park's looking good in one of those CB Industry machines. And Caleb Bacon, is that any relation to Brady? Not sure. Okay. I don't know. I'm scared to go to the chat. I feel like I don't want to misidentify Wyatt Miller. Is it a guy? Is it a girl? Can someone tell me? They're not even answering. The comment section's afraid of getting in trouble, Sean. That's what's happening here. Oh, okay, Junior. Okay, I see it right there. Steven, or 7. Oh, I think it wants to say Steven. 7 quarters says, okay, it is. His nephew is a boy, though, right? That means you're a boy. So is niece and nephew offensive terms in today's society now? Boys and girls, no, I'm serious now. So now there has to be a whole new list of what everything else is, right? Because if you're offended by the label of boy or man and girl and women, how can somebody be an aunt or an uncle? Because an aunt is a female relative and an uncle is a male relative. A niece is a female. A nephew is a male. So all these things are offensive terms, correct? I mean, I'm just saying, right? I mean, who knew? Who knew? Winged Outlaw now on the tap. These are the big boys. This is the Winged 410 division. This is where all the hitters are laying. And the number 1 guy in the Winged Outlaw is going to be race 323. Oh, my God, forward and backwards. That is the number. Chris Carroll is your number 1 man. And this Tommy Koonsman, I've seen his name in pretty much every lineup that I've been going through here. I don't really know much about Tom. Do you know who Thomas Koonsman is, Sean? No? He's in every damn lineup I'm seeing. He's been up here at the front. So this Thomas Koonsman, I may have to learn who the hell this is by the end of the weekend. He's just performing too damn well. But Chris Carroll, your number 1 overall Winged Outlaw point man right now. This is the first qualifier trying to lock into the Sweet 16 of the Winged Outlaws come Saturday night. Oh, I feel like I'm announcing. Gavin Miller is going to be coming out of the back in this one. Chase Picola is involved. Let's see. That's going to be qualifier. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure. Winger, please. Chaz, how do you identify? Oh, God. Don't ask. Okay. I'm going to get in trouble. Qualifier number 2, 324. Dell Sr., Jeff Gordon, 324. Also, the story of Genesis. I believe it's like chapter 3, verse 24. This is where Eve bites the apple and God destroys the new world, Sean. Yeah, 324. Very important numbers here, ladies and gentlemen. But in qualifier number 2, Kyle Busch going to be coming out of the 3rd spot. So he is, if you do the math here, he is 10th overall in points right now. So this is the best shot for Kyle Busch to lock in to a main event. So if he can go and win this, he could put himself on the pole. He could put himself somewhere, but he is currently, based on my little redneck math over here, trying to figure out he's days and uncles, he is currently 10th in overall points in the Winged Outlaw, which is the big boy 410 division of the entire Tulsa Shootout. So this is the best opportunity for you Kyle Busch fans to want to see him do some damage. You also got Brent Cruz in this one. He's going to be coming up through the field. It's going to be very hard to obtain victory in some of these events, because even though some of these other names, you're like, oh, who's Aiden Lingengang? He could be like the biggest Tupac killing gang guy, member you ever seen in your life. He may be Aiden ganging Kyle Busch by the end of this. Or who's Garrett Benson? He may Benson him off. He may Benson Kyle Busch off into the turn 3 opening, and you may never see Kyle Busch again. You know, so these guys are coming for blood. He's going to meet Kyle Busch at the top of the ramp and put a straight buzz cut on Brexton's ass. You know, his daddy's going to be over there slapping each other and shit. You never know. Big daddies are here to play. Big daddies are here to play. Anyway, that's qualifier number 2, 324 alumni. Oh, my God, alumni. 325 here, qualifier number 3, Joe B. Miller out of the top point spot. KJ Snow to his inside. Clinton Boyle's in the background here. You got Austin Saunders. You're seeing a few names here all the time. These are some guys that are very fast. You see Cannon Posey, the top point guy from the other division. He's in this one as well. So you start seeing more of these names in each division in these qualifiers. That's telling you these are some fast cars. These are some fast drivers. I am seeing in the chats right now, Koonsman runs Action Track USA. Oh, my God. You're a PA micro racer. You get zero fucking respect because you live in the shadows of all the big car racing, but you a bad son of a bitch. There's a lot of competition in the PA micro racing scene, but nobody cares. Nobody knows. If you're not a 410, you don't even matter in Pennsylvania. But regardless, Koonsman runs at Action Track USA, also a Spirit Speedway time to time, which is the small track at Bridgeport Motorsports Park, the quarter mile, not the big track, does well at both tracks. So that's a little background on this Thomas Koonsman, who is consistently popping up in the lineups, and he is in qualifier, what was it, qualifier number 1? Yeah, qualifier number 1. So he is currently ahead of Kyle Busch in the standings. He is 9th overall in points. So pay attention to this Koonsman, but Carroll out of that first qualifier. So back to the list here. We did just do this qualifier 3. Another name, Michael Facento. Pay attention to him. He's always fast in the micros in this one. So that's qualifier number 3. Qualifier number 4, 4th overall in points. This could be the Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson show if you're a NASCAR fan to pay attention to. And my oh my, it's the Winged Outlaw, the big daddy show of them all of this entire week. Kyle Larson, he's starting out that 4th spot in the 4th qualifier. That means he's 4th overall right now in Winged Outlaw points. 4th overall in Winged Outlaw points. So you got Kyle Larson, 4th overall. Kyle Busch, 10th overall in points for those who are keeping tabs. You see here, Ryan Timms out of the 3rd spot. He's always good in a micro. Of course, from Oklahoma. Wyatt Miller in this one as well. We have identified him as a boy. Blake Hahn involved in this one. But Blake Hahn obviously has done some damage in the Expo as well, especially in the micro ranks. So this is the one for the Kyle Larson fans you want to pay attention to. This is his best shot we've seen so far to potentially win a driller. I believe it would be his first ever shootout driller. He's always sucked in a micro. He self-admittingly says this. But this is his one shot. Apparently this Steven Snyder's also an Action Track guy. We got a PA guy watching. I don't know how. It's like 11:30 over there. You must be drunk on a screwball or something. Anyway, on to qualifier. I know it's going to hurt a lot of feelings to move on from Kyle's name, but we just did it. I'm sorry, Kyle, and all you Larsonite psychopaths. Into qualifier number 5, race 327. Noah Carpenter. I've seen this name a lot up front. He's going to be starting on the 4th spot. Jaden Friesen, which is relation to Stuart Friesen in this heat race as well. Looking through the depths of the field here, Ryder LaPlante deep in it. Colby Sokol, that's an interesting last name. Derek Hagar, how about this? Derek Hagar we've called his name out a lot going through these qualifiers. That's telling you he's fast, he's quick. So don't sleep on Derek Hagar. He can actually do some damage, the king of the ditch. Into qualifier number 6. Oh my God. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Tyler Courtney's involved. Look the hell out. Tyler Courtney, I'm just kidding. Maybe. Starting out of the 3rd spot, Tyler Courtney. Out of the 4th spot, Dason Persley. Outside the front row, Emerson Axum. He's going to be tough. He is going to be extremely tough in these winged outlaw cars. I mean, Emerson Axum in the micro is just something special to see. James Roselli. I'm going for it. That's James Roselli in the 95B going to be sitting on the pole. Let's see, can somebody come up here and catch Tyler Courtney for the first time in their life? Gary Taylor, man. Kevin Thomas Jr. in this. Brenham Crouch. A couple other guys. There's going to be Sam Johnson. There's a lot of good guys in this field, but that's a pretty stacked little front 2 rows. You got Axum, Persley, and Courtney. It'll be a pretty good qualifier there in qualifier number 6. Qualifier number 7, Frank Flood out of the 4th spot, so he is currently 7th overall. These are some of the guys that, Kyle Busch is battling to move up. You don't necessarily want to start 10th. So, like I said, top 16 in points automatically locked in. So these guys starting out of the 4th and the 3rd spot as we go down this, down all of these are your top 16 that are locked in. So currently right now, Frank Flood locked in as a 7th overall person in points. Austin Turgidson going to be the 15th overall in points as they sit. Top 16 moving on until these races get done with. We'll see where everybody lines up. Pat Beeler on the outside of the front row. Aiden Gatewood. Let's see who else is in here. Oh, my God. There he is, the unnamed daddy himself. He may be a daddy. Christopher Bell may be a daddy. We just don't know. We just don't know who it is. You never know. Christopher Bell going to be starting out of 9th. He's going to have to do a lot of work here to make up in these points to get into that top 16. You can do it, though. There's a lot of points to be made. This is why the qualifiers are here. It's because, for instance, maybe a Christopher Bell, you start 5th, you finish 3rd, you didn't have a good points night. If you start now in the 9th spot and you win this qualifier, it's going to be hard because they set them up. They award people who performed well in the heat races. But if you can drive from 9th and you can win this race, that's a lot of passing points. That's a lot of finishing position points. So these qualifiers are the articulation and smartness of the shootout and the Chili Bowl and how they line these things up are very good. I think the shootout's a little more equal because of the equality between the vehicles and the cars. But this is going to be very interesting to see if Christopher Bell can make up some things and get into that top 16 as he's going to be coming out of that 9th spot. You also have Chase Rogers back here. But that's going to be interesting. They're in qualifier number 7. You're going to have a race to watch in all these qualifiers, guaranteed with how much action, how much talent's throughout them. But this is one to circle. Can Christopher Bell in the Winged Outlaw, the 410 of the weekend, here back in the Tulsa Shootout, here to reclaim his throne that he left vacated? Can he come from 9th to get up in here and pass Frank Flood, pass these guys, and do some damage in qualifier number 7? And the final qualifier we are reviewing, it is qualifier number 8. Currently, Neil Allison and Cannon McIntosh sit in the 8th and 16th position in the points overall right now. Jet Barnes on the outside of the front row. Cole Kirkman. Those are your top 4 point getters in these lineups here as your fourth, third, second, and first starters. And you look a little bit deeper here in your final Winged Outlaw race, and it'll be interesting. We'll see. Paige Moss I believe it's a female racer. Can she come up through there? Grayson Springer. Dude, if Grayson Springer would have started next to Tyler Courtney, I would have laughed my ass off. Anyway, Ashton Torgerson is in this one. Jace Park is in this one. Mick Guile Jr., he's always been on the screen this week, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this all works out and see if some of these guys can make up positions, as you see there, currently as they sit on the pole. If everything ended now, would be Chris Carroll, and then outside of him, TJ Smith. So this is what I was saying as far as the points. The current 16 locked in right now in the Winged Outlaw would be starting first, Chris Carroll, starting 8th, that Thomas Koonsman. Starting 2nd, TJ Smith. Starting 9th would be Kyle Busch. Or wait, no, 9th for, back here. Koonsman would be starting 9th. Starting 10th would be Kyle Busch. Starting 2nd would be TJ Smith. 3rd would be Joe B. Miller. And then you go over here, start 11th with KJ Snow and so on and so on. Right now, Kyle Larson would be slated to start 4th. I'm sure he wants to improve on that, though. And then, of course, all these guys back here, this is their one chance. Blake Hahn, all these other stars we documented. Christopher Bell, that's deep back here in these other races. This is their only chance to get into the top 16 for the Winged Outlaw, this is the cake, the icing on top. The icing on top. I think it's only $10,000 to win, but if you're going to win a race, this would be the one to get it done. Anyways, dang, we went through it. It took just about an hour to go through what I wanted to. We did not stop. We got on here. We did not stop. What is everybody saying over here? What is everybody saying? I want to get the Chris Bell 69K shirt when they come out. That is going to be a very nice shirt. Christopher Bell in the Kreitz 69K. Somebody said, forever 21X, put it on a shirt. Yes, 21X, Chris Bell, he dominated micros. To learn how to pass, watch Bobby Pierce in Santa's sleigh. Oh, you deserve to lose your live chat audience. We are going to be talking about late models. Of course, late models kick off tomorrow night on Flow. Flow's going to be busy once again. From down there at Vado Speedway Park, the Wild West Shootout is kicking off. It is going to be in the shadow, of this Tulsa Shootout just a little bit. Next week, I think the Wild West Shootout will get a little bit more attention. We will see if we can get Broke Joe on here to lose his mind tomorrow. We're going to be reacting to these qualifiers. I'm almost willing to bet we're going to be having us a fight at the top of the ramp. The ramp is going to be very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Come tomorrow. The qualifiers, they get very, very intense. This is the race of the week. This is the day of the week. This is going to set up everything that matters and everything that doesn't. It is going to be very, very intense. Late model fans aren't watching the shootout. Well, you're a piece of shit because you don't support Ricky Thornton Jr. Fuck you. Any late model fan that doesn't support Ricky Thornton Jr. going over in the open world to whoop some ass is a piece of shit. You damn push and flip. Offended little crybaby bitches. You probably voted for Kamala if you don't watch the shootout and Ricky Thornton Jr. That's what I'm fucking saying. We're saying it right now. If you don't watch the shootout and support Ricky Thornton Jr., you voted for Kamala, and I don't care if you voted for Trump. I'm telling everybody you voted for Kamala, you bitch. You don't want to support your own kind whooping up on the open wheel boy's ass? Might as well as voted for Kamala. Might as well. We going to have an open phone line? No, we cannot. Tomorrow, we might. If Broke Joe refuses to call in like the bitch he's becoming. I'm just kidding, Broke. If Broke Joe refuses to call in, we will have open lines tomorrow, too. If Broke Joe refuses. We will see. We will see. Because there is a topic to discuss. We may have to discuss it. If Broke Joe refuses tomorrow, we're going to have to discuss it. I think he didn't want to call in tonight because the air punch, what does it say, starts at 5 every morning? And he does have to work tomorrow. The air compressor next door to where he sleeps, it goes off every morning. So I think that's why. We'll see. We'll see. Corgliano's at the top of your screen. You see it over there on the top left. Well, for y'all, yeah, top left of the screen, Corgliano's Pizza, Knoxville, Iowa. That is going to be where we're going to be having our Chili Bow Saturday watch party. Dethridge Racing Opticians. If you need to get some glasses, go with Dethridge, ladies and gentlemen. Ask for the Chaz Especial. I can see all your comments now. Before, I was just blind. But now I can see. Ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Check them on out. And by the way, Prime Composite Innovations do want to do some micro bodies. Contact Prime today to get some very affordable, very strong Kevlar carbon fiber based bodies. Some of the lightest stuff in the world with Kevlar infused technology. If you micro people want something nice like that, affordable, not this insanity of pricing, contact Prime today to get it done. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you tomorrow and Saturday. It is Tulsa Shootout Week. Wild West Shootout's coming. It's on.
Have you been searching for that next level upgrade? Ready to invest into something that is in it for the long haul? Well, look no further than the composited innovations provided by Prime. These customly crafted pieces are handmade by former Jason Johnson Racing car chief and Prime owner-operator Clyde Cadiff. Prime Composite Innovations is located centrally in Missouri and is looking to provide that big-time performance at a fraction of that big-time price. For additional information, visit prime-composites.com today to see what they have to offer, as well as their stable of current full-time drivers that trust Prime with their ride. For the future of innovations, with the properly composited type, you can depend, move forward, and rely on Prime.
Ready to rip, ready to reach. Place my bets, hey, you never know when playing on hopes what you could achieve. Making the goal, peace with the soul, don't matter the bottle with what you believe. Cause if I'm taking it all in the calling, it's harder with nothing that's harder than free. Not giving up, no, don't trip, gotta go. Take a slip, make a pass in the low. Put it down the gas for a show. Let it pass in the grass for the opo. Got first, never last for the oh no. To the pass, to the glass, to the photo. Cause I'm gonna pass all you cowards with ease. And when them speeding demons come, we don't feast with the beast and the evil hunting lust. Burn your cheeks when I speak with my real passion, love, turning all